Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So with a day like today in the stock market where a lot of popular stocks got crushed, I think it's important to talk about a warning for what's going on in the stock market right now and how there is some potential danger lying ahead. Now today, the NASDAQ in the technology sector in particular got crushed. NASDAQ was down 2.5% almost. And if we take a look at the S&P 500, most of these tech stocks are down 3% or more. You take a look at Tesla down 8.5%. And so what I want to do in this video is show you a couple of warning signs that might point to this sort of thing continuing. Now I'll have all of these links down in the description, but the first thing I want to show you is the level of margin debt that's being taken on to invest in the stock market. It's at historical highs, but I think the most important thing about this chart is showing how the stock market reacts after margin debt spikes up. So historically at market tops is usually when there's a parabolic rise in margin debt. So you can see that back in 2000 during the dot-com bubble, margin debt went parabolic, which is the red line, and that lined up with the top of the stock market. Same thing in 2007, 2008, again, a big spike in margin debt, which then unwound when the real estate bubble popped. This is even something we saw in 2017, 2018, 20% drawdown at the end of 2018. And then again, we're seeing that right now. Margin debt has gone parabolic since March of last year. So has the stock market. And again, this is just another sign of investors becoming overly greedy, borrowing money they don't have to invest in the stock market. And so the question in my mind is when this stops, people can't keep taking on debt forever. So when the buyers on margin run out, who's left to buy up stocks? And so that's probably going to be when this thing unwinds and we do see a substantial drop in the stock market. Now, another thing I want to point out is the relationship between Treasury yields. So this is a chart someone posted on Twitter. I do have a Twitter, the link is in the description, so follow me if you're not doing that already. But I thought this chart was super interesting because it shows Treasury yields usually preceding a rise in the VIX. So Treasury yields are in orange, the VIX is in pink. And so over the past year, there were a handful of times where the VIX spiked, and each of those times, Treasury yields rose a few weeks preceding that. So we saw that back in May of 2020, again in August, and then again in October right before the election when the VIX spiked up. And so right now, again, we're seeing that Treasury yields are going up. It seems like every day almost yields are going higher. And so if this pattern continues, it would show that there is likely to be a spike in the VIX sometime in the next few weeks or next few months. Now, again, that might not be the end of the world. It doesn't mean the stock market's going to implode. It might just be another dip. It could be another buying opportunity, but it is just something to keep an eye on. And again, a reason for these rising treasury yields is a number of things, but one of the factors is expectations of more inflation. And there's been so many signs of this going on. So many commodities have been hitting all-time highs. If we take a look at copper miners, this is the copper miner ETF, and copper miners have doubled since October of last year. In October, they were around $20, and today we hit over $40 a share for this ETF. So it just shows copper, lumber, a bunch of other metals like nickel, and even things like soybeans are all on the verge of hitting new all-time highs, which does point to increasing prices in the future. Now, in terms of my allocation to certain commodities, I am looking at adding a few more positions, but right now my largest one is Sprott, which is an asset manager in the precious metal space. And Sprott has had a nice run after consolidating for a number of months, over the past half year or so. Today up over 4%, and that's significant since the price is now over the 200-day moving average. So this could be a sign of the stock breaking out and starting a new uptrend. And I'm still very bullish on gold and silver. Even though gold and silver have been lagging compared to other metals and other commodities, I do think it's only a matter of time before they start to go up by a large amount as well. And now Sprott is announcing their earnings for Q4 and the full year results for 2020 later this week. They just announced that they're going to do it on this Friday, the 26th. And I just saw an announcement last week that Sprott had record inflows into their silver metal trust. Silver has been getting a lot of attention over the past couple of weeks, and this will clearly benefit Sprott, as if someone wants to buy silver, one of the best places to do it is the Sprott Silver Trust. They also have trusts for other metals like platinum and palladium, which I think just benefits them even more. For anyone that's holding the stock, it just gives them diversity of, even if gold and silver continue to underperform, there's other metals that Sprott is holding that will allow them to benefit from the rise in commodities as a whole. So we have this to look forward to, Sprott earnings on Friday. There's also earnings coming out for Cumulus Media tomorrow morning, and I'm expecting a very good Q4 from Cumulus. So I'll probably have a video tomorrow making a recap of how the company performed in Q4 and what their expectations are for this year. So that's it for this video. Just wanted to show you a few things that I see as a potential warning sign for the valuations in the stock market right now and what could potentially happen in the next few months. Let me know down in the comments if you're doing any moves in the stock market, if you are buying any of the dips on some of these stocks that have fallen, or if you are potentially taking some profits off the table. That's it for this video. If you found it helpful, hit the like button to help out my channel. If this is your first time here, subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos. So that's it for now, and I will see you next time.